There's a couple different lights that are available to us inside of Unreal Engine, so I want to take a high-level look at just the differences and kind of when we might use them. So if you want to follow along, we are still inside of our lighting project. I'm going to go to File, New Level, and I'm just going to select the default level. Once this loads, you're going to notice a couple things if we move the camera back. We have a player start. This is where we would spawn in when we start playing. We have a fog actor, or an atmospheric fog. And we also have this thing called a light source. It's named like this. This is actually a directional light. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete it real fast, just so we don't get confused. So select it, and then hit the delete key. It's going to throw a message that says this is being referenced by another actor. It's okay for our demo purposes. Just click yes. And you're going to notice our entire island goes black, which is great. So if we want to access the different lights inside of Unreal, we only need to come over to this modes panel. So remember, again, if this isn't visible, we can come into window modes and turn it back on. And we have to go down to the left here where it says lights and just click. You can see now the 4 lights that are inside of Unreal that we can use. So we have a directional light, point light, spotlight, and skylight. So if we want to take any one of these lights and add it to our scene, we'll start with the directional light. We're just going to click with the left mouse button, hold down, and drag it into our scene. It's pretty straightforward. So the directional light is basically the sun. You can see this arrow that's pointing out of it. So it's shooting down uniform light rays all in the direction of that one ray. So we can see it's a little shadowed here. If I hit E and rotate my actor, you can see now those new faces are becoming illuminated. So we only ever really need one of these per scene. So just keep that in mind. It's kind of like the big sun in the sky. Once we're done with it, I'm going to have it still selected. I'm just going to hit the delete key to get rid of it. Next up is the point light. I'm going to left click, hold, drag it into my scene. And you can kind of see, I'm going to click off and nowhere so that I can deselect it. You can see now that we have a little light bulb here and we have a soft fall off. But if we click on it again, what we'll notice is this giant sphere shape around it. So the point light is actually giving off light uniformly in a sphere. So if we ever need to use it for a light bulb or almost anything that is uniformly giving off light, this is the best use case for a point light. So again, I'm going to hit the delete key. Next up is the spotlight. We're going to add it to our scene by left clicking and dragging in, and then I'm going to move it up to kind of get a little better view. So a spotlight is very much like a point light, except it's confined to this cone type shape. Okay, so anything not in this cone will not be casting any light. So light is only being casted in this particular area. So again, you can think about in real life, a couple scenarios, maybe like a street lamp or a flashlight. This will be the same result as that. I'm going to click the delete key to get rid of it. And then finally, we have the skylight. So if I click and drag it into my scene, you'll notice already that it's taken my black kind of piece of geometry here and turned it a little bit blue. So what makes a skylight special is it's adding an even amount of light to all the surfaces in the level. So let's say we had a really dark shadowed area and we wanted to kind of boost the entire level so that there wasn't so much darkness. We can use a skylight to kind of add an overall amount of light to our scene, which can be really handy. So hopefully that helps you guys understand a little bit more about the 4 different types of lights inside of Unreal.